Hey guys, it's Hunter Henry of the LA Chargers. Welcome to the capsON podcast. I hope you guys enjoy and thanks for listening.
Welcome to the capsON podcast, coming to you from the capital, with your hosts, Nick Tobias, Tyler Blumenstick, and Michael Britton.
Week 17 NFL preview, episode 7 of our capsON podcast series. We're getting up there. How you guys doing today?
Living the dream.
Doing well.
What's going on, everyone?
All right, so we got a lot of teams that have playoff spots locked up. We got a lot of teams still fighting for their last playoff spots. So we'll try our best to give you all the injury updates, everybody that's out, everyone that's getting set because their team already locked up a spot. Basically all the news just like we normally do. And with that being said, let's jump right into Cleveland at Cincinnati. The line is Cleveland -3. The total set at 44.5. Cleveland is 6-9. Cincinnati 1-14. I feel like it's week 17. We know the teams by now. Like we know what a team is. No one's really going to surprise you.
Cleveland always surprises me.
Yeah, but with that being said, this number is off. Cleveland is playing for a moral victory here. There's no shot at the playoffs for either team. But since he was down huge to Miami last week, ended up somehow crawling back into the game. I don't really even know how, to be completely honest.
I don't think we're going to see that this week, though.
No way.
What do you mean?
We're not going to see Cleveland go up by like 21 or 14 points and Cincinnati, come barreling
No,
back.
which is
No,
why
Cleveland's not good, but they're not. The Dolphins bad.
Oh, exactly. Cleveland has the superstars on the team.
Who all hate playing for the coach.
Which is fair, and this is his last year anyways. He's going to be gone. I saw a bunch of Urban Meyer rumors today.
Urban.
I think that's the funniest thing ever. I mean,
Urban Meyer's name comes up for
Urban
every
Meyer.
coach.
I know, he's going to be the coach of the Cowboys. He's going to be the coach of the Giants. He's going to be the coach of the Browns. He's going to be coach of every team. But anyways, nobody's really sitting out for the Browns. Cincinnati is Cincinnati. The line is a field goal. I don't care where Cleveland's playing this game. They could be playing it on Mars for all I care, and Cleveland -3 would still be my picks. So.
I think I'm with you there, Stick. I know that these guys kind of, the videos came out of Odell Beckham kind of, jawing at Freddie Kitchens on the sideline. What it was over, no one, exactly knows, or what was said. They've kind of kept that all quiet. I think this is a huge bounce-back candidate for Freddie Kitchens and for that team. It's kind of, their last chance to show everybody what it could be. I think they open up the playbook a little bit, and I don't think Cincinnati's prepared for maybe not 100% of Odell's or of Cleveland's offense, but what they could be.
So we roll.
So I'm taking Cleveland -2.5 here on FanDuel. You had it at -3.
Whatever it is, I don't care. The line could be 7. I'm going to take it.
3. I think we're gonna.
We're gonna go ahead and take 3.
Cleveland 3.
Cool. All right, then I'll take Cleveland -3.
Yeah, I agree with the Cleveland train. Baker Mayfield usually has trouble when he's being pressured and he doesn't have time to throw the football. Cincinnati's defense isn't that impressive. I do think, like Mano said, this might be Cleveland's swan song headed into the offseason. This is something Freddie Kitchens wants to win. At least go into the offseason on a positive note. Open the playbook. The Cleveland's talent is off the chains on the offensive end. I'll go Cleveland -3.
Yeah, easy pick here. I mean, the Browns aren't anything great, but they're playing the Bengals, and with a spread like we've been talking about at -3, how can you not take something like that?
I trust the talent on the Browns.
Yeah,
more than
easily.
Yeah,
easily. And I mean, even if for some reason you are worried about the spread, like the money line's still -150, you could toss your whole savings on that, and you're basically guaranteed to win. Browns -3.
All right. First squad agreement on the first game. Moving on, we got Chicago at Minnesota. 1 o'clock on Sunday. Minnesota are 1-point favorites at home. Just a quick little note, this is not a primetime game. Dalvin Cook is probably still going to be out. Same with Madison. But but I don't think it makes a difference, really. Chicago's coming off 2 losses at Green Bay and last week against Kansas City, where they only put up 3 points against a much improved Kansas City defense. They're playing really, really well as of late. Minnesota also had a loss against Green Bay on Monday night, and they didn't really impress me at all. Green Bay seemed to play pretty well, but Kirk was typical Kirk in prime time. But I don't know. I don't think that's an indicator of this Minnesota team. I think they have the tools to go deep into the playoffs with a healthy Dalvin Cook.
This game opened at -7.
Did
It
it?
is,
Really?
yeah, it has now been bet to -1.
Are you
I
sure?
feel
That's
100%. It's,
crazy.
at least on Action Network, yeah. I would.
I don't trust Action Network.
Oh no, it says I have
Because this
Sports
usually
Line.
tells me the opening
Sports
line.
Line. It says it was -7, went to -7.5. They went from 7.5 to 1.
I don't understand the line movement on this. Then I'm gonna have to check on this. I believe you. I don't understand that though. That's a really big jump. So something.
I don't know. What
I
happened.
don't understand that line movement at all. Yeah, but all right.
I don't know what happened there. Madison is actually playing. He's expected to play this game, but they're expected to miss Dalvin Cook this week again. So I don't really know why it jumped so bad.
That's like a really it usually jumps down in half points, full points. I don't know why that's the way it is. I don't know how accurate that is. I believe it. I think this line should be a little bit higher than it actually is.
They're
but-
saying that the line plummeted a touchdown when Minnesota became boxed into the number 6 seed. So they're
Okay.
assuming that I guess that the Vikes are going to
Yeah.
rest a bunch of key players. Now, obviously,
They
we don't
haven't said
know.
anything yet.
They haven't said anything, but they're expected to rest key players on the offensive side.
I guess that's just like it's just a really good thing to keep in mind if we could give you any tip for betting a Week 17 game or really any game late in the season.
Monitor the inactives.
Yeah, keep in mind because we're recording this podcast on Thursday night. The games aren't till Sunday, obviously. So we can't give you live updates on injury reports. We might kind of keep up with it a tiny bit on our Instagram at capsons.sports. But, yeah, again, it's tough. So just keep in mind which teams are locked into spots, which teams could possibly advance their seed, so on and so forth. But anyways,
Vikings -1.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I
Vikings
think,
-1 regardless.
yeah.
I mean,
The
I
bottom
don't-
line is here: Chicago stinks, and that's
Their
pretty
offense
much-
is terrible.
Chicago
I,
stinks.
I think it's Minnesota's
Mitch, you're
defense
trash.
that really carries this one.
Yeah, so Minnesota -1, everybody. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
that's an easy agreement.
Okay.
Atlanta visiting the Tampa Bay Bucks at Raymond James. Atlanta's coming into this at 6-9. Tampa at 7-8. Atlanta 7-8 against the spread. Tampa 5-8 against the spread. So neither team great. The line is Tampa Bay -1. It opened at a pick'em. The total opened at 50, and it's been bet down and adjusted to 47.5. I like Atlanta in this one. I don't really this is a game I'm probably not going to bet, but I do like Atlanta. I just don't trust Tampa Bay, especially with Chris Godwin and Mike Evans out. That offense, they still have the ability to put up points, but I just wouldn't trust it. They took a loss at Houston. They scored the least amount of points in a while, from what I can remember. Only 20 points up on the board. And they pushed against the spread here. But Atlanta has been, pretty sneaky. They've won 3 straight against Carolina, convincingly 40-20. At San Francisco, which is a big win. And then beat Jacksonville at home. Has covered the spread in their last 3. And they also played New Orleans to a tight 8-point game 4 weeks ago. So they're turning it around. We mentioned it last week. They're playing for Dan Quinn's job. And, ultimately this is the final test. They're not making the playoffs. And I think they go into Tampa Bay and they can cover the spread as dogs. So I'm going to go Atlanta +1.
Absolutely. I think this is quick and easy. Tampa is without Godwin, without Mike Evans. Yeah, Jameis can still, like I say this every week, he can throw for 400, 4 picks and 3 interceptions, and, they could still win the football game.
Basically does it every week.
But Atlanta's defense is good. They have a very good defense. They've improved a lot, and like Stick was saying, they're playing for Dan Quinn's job. Matt Ryan is a proven winner, proven gamer. He knows how to, lead his team to victory, 2-minute drives, anything like that. Julio Jones is a stud. Atlanta +1.
Yeah, I don't have trust in Jameis, like you said. I mean, he is very prone to throw picks, and I don't have faith in the Tampa Bay defense either. I think that both quarterbacks can throw for 300-400 yards. They throw the deep ball all the time. It's going to be a very heavily offensive game. It's going to look like a Big 12 game out there.
No defense.
So the one thing I want to take the Falcons spread, but I feel like it could be a little bit of a toss-up. Do I want to take the over?
I was about to say the over. The over is something that you can look at in this game, especially if it's you're going to be able to tell early on what kind of football game this is going to be. If you can hop on it live and it doesn't, shoot way beyond 50.
What is it, 47.5 now?
Or 46.
48. Yeah.
48.
I don't hate that at all.
It's definitely possible. These are two, higher powered offense. Like you said, there's no defense. I'm taking Atlanta in this one. I wouldn't be surprised if they win this one outright.
I agree with you on that. I got to take Atlanta, and going off what you said, I think this is a live bet for the over. If you see that the offenses are coming out strong and going for that deep shot, definitely hammer the over early, but my pick will be Falcons -1.
Okay, another squad agreement. We got
Yep.
all right, 4 on Atlanta. Moving on, we got the Saints visiting the Panthers in Carolina. The line is New Orleans -13. The total is set at 46. It's opened at 48, so some action on the under there. New Orleans is 10-5. Carolina 12-3, 10-5 against the spread. Carolina is 5-10, 6-8 against the spread. Just a note for this one: the Saints are still playing for playoff seeding, so they can advance. They can get higher up on the rankings in the NFC, and I think they're not going to take their foot off the gas whatsoever. And I mean, we saw it when they played Indianapolis 2 weeks ago. They just absolutely manhandled that team, and then you look and turn on the other side of the ball, and Carolina got manhandled by Indianapolis. I don't care that this spread is nearly 2 touchdowns. I think it's going to be a 20-point game. New Orleans is playing for something, and yeah, pretty much it. I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but they're not sitting anybody, and it's just a tale of 2 very, very different teams. And sorry, Mike, but I don't trust Will Grier.
Listen, I love Will Grier, but I do not trust him, especially after seeing his performance. 3 picks last week.
He puts his whole body into throws.
Yeah, he does.
Which is impressive, but not effective.
It clearly didn't work.
No, that worked in the
Yeah, it worked in college.
I think this game's won by the Saints' defense. I don't think their offense is still going to put up points, but I don't see Carolina being able to score. You got to stop McCaffrey, and that's pretty much it, and force Will Grier to make throws to DJ Moore and company. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Carolina testing out a lot. I mean, like you said, they have nothing to play for. They're just going to see what Will Grier can do. They're just going to be a little more lenient with him, let him throw it a little more. Hopefully he doesn't throw more picks. But I just think that the Saints are too good in this, and I have to take the Saints at, what was it, -13?
Yeah.
I have to take them at -13. Like you said, especially with the defense, if Will Grier starts throwing picks and they're not able to score, the Saints are just going to run it up because they're going for that number 1 seed.
So the Saints have already clinched a playoff spot. They just haven't been locked into a specific seeding, correct?
Yeah, so they're going for the number 1.
My concern with that is that they're in the playoffs. These guys know they're in the playoffs, and they might be going at 70, 80%. Even though Sean Payton's like, hey, our team, we're not taking anything off the gas, whatever. I think he, in the back of his mind, he's aware that he's still in a playoff spot and would hate to go into any situation without a Kamara, without a Breeze. So I think despite what he says, I think they're going to rotate in and out. I think they're going to be conservative with their play calling in a sense where they don't want people to get hurt right before this game. So I think Carolina might be able to keep it close because of that. I'm going Carolina +13.
See, I just want to jump in real quick. I disagree with that because you know the difference between a Drew Brees at home and Drew Brees on the road. And if they can lock up that number 1 seed, I think that's their absolute goal this week. I don't know. And Sean Payton's not one to give smoke signals. I think that he is a very straightforward guy, and I think that
I don't know. I think
number 1
they
seed
need
is
to win
no
the game.
joke.
So New Orleans just needs to win the game. They don't have to win by 13 to
Yeah,
get
that's
that
a
number 1
big-
spot.
I agree. All right, I agree with that.
That's what I'm
aspect of
saying.
it.
That's
I
where
think
I'm
They can win by 10.
Exactly. Sean Payton knows the talent that he has in his second unit or in sub packages are probably better than what
Janoris Jenkins and Eli
Carolina is.
Apple.
Sure, fine, touche.
Well, I
But
think
still.
That proves more of your point. But I mean,
I like Carolina
Yeah, I don't
plus 13. I think the Carolina Panthers, the players are fighting for their own position. They're fighting for a spot on the team now. New head coach and everything. Everyone's going to want to prove themselves that they're worthy of next year. Obviously, front office might be looking to move Cam next year. They might be looking to move a lot of pieces, start from the ground up. So Carolina players are going to come out there with a head full of steam. They're going to be feeding McCaffrey all game. This is a backdoor cover game, I think. I think the starters for New Orleans stay in the full first half if they're up, 14 points. You're going to see Teddy Two Gloves. You're going to see Taysom Hill in there, Latavius Murray. So I'm going to rock with Carolina plus 13 here, too.
All right.
So what we got next?
Mike, you make your pick?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
said Saints minus 13.
Yeah, so...
Okay. So we have Jets versus Buffalo in Buffalo. The Jets come into this 6-9, both straight up and against the spread.
Nice.
Very nice. Buffalo 10-5 and 9-5 against the spread. The line favors the Bills by 1.5. The total opened at 37.
Low scoring.
It's now down to 36.5.
Even low scoring.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really
it's
know.
gonna be 7-3 the final score.
So, the Bills
The Bills are
really
locked
have
in.
nothing to play for. They're locked in.
They're locked in. Well, they're
and
not
they
gonna-
also have yet to say whether they're going to rest starters or not.
Well, I think Sean McDermott has said that he's going to rest some. He's come out and said he's going to rest some. He hasn't said anything about limiting anybody. But I wouldn't be surprised if he does. I mean, Josh Allen's the corner piece of that organization now.
Mm-hmm.
Singletary's a valuable asset. They have John Brown, Cole Beasley. They're small, so you don't want them getting cracked over the middle. You risk dislocated shoulder, broken rib.
So what you're telling me is Frank Gore
Frank-
over
yes.
rushing yards prop bet.
Yeah, well, I got to check and see what he's at. But if his over-under is at like 30.5 or 40, I mean, yeah.
It's one of those like week 17 random dude gets 100 yards. It's going to be Frank Gore's game.
This is a game I'm not touching.
I'm not touching this game, no, because I do think, obviously, it could go one of two ways, and that's pretty self-explanatory. I want to pick Buffalo here, just because it's Buffalo, and I've been riding Buffalo all year, and I love them. They're a good team. They play hard on the defensive end. They're in Buffalo, too. I'm staying away from this game, not betting I'm not going to bet anything on it, but for the sake of the cap, I'm going to take Buffalo minus 1.5.
I'm with you on Buffalo. It's a home game, and I don't know what, and this is, I don't know if this is going to be my lock because I'm 0-2 when I bet against the Jets and locks. But the Jets don't really, I don't think they're playing for Adam Gase. It kind of came out and was reported that they kind of that he lost the locker room, and his retaliation is that he's rich as fuck. So I don't know if that really bodes over well in New York, but he said it anyway. So, or he's told someone who told someone else. But I'm taking the Jets minus 1.5, or not the Jets. I'm taking the Bills minus 1.5.
So, sorry.
I agree with you, man. I feel like you have to take the Bills on this. I understand the Jets have won the past 5 of their 7 last games. And maybe if they were home, I would consider it. I know it's a division matchup, but I just have to take the Bills.
Bills
minus
Mafia's
1.5.
going to go nuts.
Yeah, exactly.
They're
They're
gonna go
playing
nuts.
in Buffalo.
They're in the
You will
playoffs.
not win in Buffalo.
Those guys feel they probably have a legitimate chance to do some damage. They're riled up. They're going to see them
They
beat
do.
up
They-
on it.
they almost-
do.
they almost
I
beat the
no, I
Patriots
agree.
last
I agree. But those fans are like, oh, look, we're beating up on the Jets. What do we think we can do against whoever we play? They're
Why
going to
would
go
you not
buck
want to beat
wild.
up? It's like the Giants. I want to beat up on the Eagles this week.
That's
I
true.
hate
Oh,
the Eagles.
yeah.
I don't care. The game doesn't mean crap for us, but I want to beat the hell out of the Eagles.
The amount of middle fingers Sam Darnold is about to see this week is going to be insane. So I think squad agreement on Bills minus
you
1.
taking those?
Yeah, I'm taking
I
one.
haven't
He has-
taken a pick yet.
Oh.
I'm actually going to play the under on this one. I don't want to pick a side. I know the total is unbelievably low at 37, but this game I can see end up being maybe 17-10, 20-10, like 20-13.
Maybe 17-3.
Like I don't see the way this game goes over. It's going to be raining in Buffalo on Sunday. So yeah, I don't want to play a side and mess with who's going to be in, but you know for a fact that Buffalo's starters are going to rest for a certain extent. And they don't have much offense as it is. We might see Matt Barkley in this game.
Matt Barkley.
Yeah, I mean, a USC guy.
That's my dude.
Yeah, and then, I'm going to play the under on this one. I don't want to pick a side, but
What do
if
you
I
got,
had to
37,
lean, I would
37?
definitely agree with you guys.
36.5 or 30.
Yeah, it's 36.5 right now.
Okay.
Wish I could take the 37, but it can't because
Yep, that's where we're
it's
at.
not the line. We don't make up lines here. So
Another AFC East.
yeah, we got Miami visiting New England in Foxborough. Miami is 4-11, 8-7 against the spread. Not bad. That's a surprising number. I did
Because
not know
their spreads
that.
were all like 14 at the beginning of the year, and then people were like, they're actually good enough to cover like 10. So
that's true.
It got bet back down.
Speaking of double-digit spreads, the line opened at New England minus 16. It's at New England minus 15.5 now.
That's a lot of points.
That is
That's one of the highest spreads we've seen. This is like the Ravens-Jets Monday night game, or Thursday game, actually.
Oh, well.
We picked the Jets in that one, barely missed the cover. I think it was by like 3 points.
Yeah, they're-
Whoa, we
they're
didn't
big.
all pick the...
New England was 18.
We did, we posted it.
New England was minus 18 against Miami last time.
Posted on the Instagram.
New England was minus 18 last time they played Miami, and they covered 43-0.
I mean, yeah.
Like I just had to pause the number that you just said was correct.
It's
Yeah,
just
like you had to process that.
Yeah.
Or like,
The Patriots are still playing for playoff seeding. They still have a shot at home field. No, they don't. They can move up to the 2 spot. The Ravens have home field clinched up right now.
Yeah.
I don't know what I like about this game.
Over under, we got 44.5. So the total's right in the middle.
Miami's been letting up a lot of points lately. And New England, I want to say they kind of figured it out, but they also maybe haven't. I don't know. I'm going to take... Oh, this is a real tough one. Like, this is a shitty game. Like,
I'm
I
going
don't
to
want
come
to watch
out.
this, but like...
I'm no explanation. Straight out.
Go ahead.
Miami 15.5.
I agree with you.
Miami
I agree.
15.5.
Fitzmagic, I think, is going to go into Foxborough. By no means
Listen.
do I think the Dolphins are going to win this. Or
No.
I think it's going to be close to a 2-score game. I just think that it doesn't go over 2 scores. I think realistically there's going to be about a 10 to 14 point margin that the Patriots win by. But I think Fitzmagic is going to hold it in there, and they don't have anything to play for. They're going to just be sending it down the field, and I think Fitzmagic, like I said, keeps...
I really like what
Wins the
Miami's been
spread,
doing.
yeah.
I like what Brian Flores has been doing in that locker room. Miami's needed a guy to turn it around. That organization's been in the toilet bowl for the past 10 years. And I think Brian Flores is doing a good job, and he's returning home. It's a revenge game for the head coach. So I feel comfortable with 15.5 for Miami.
I'm with you. I'm with you on Miami I was with you on Miami plus 15.5. I was with you on the Brian Flores stuff. I was with you on the 2-score game, Mike. until
let's hear it.
until you said they lost 48 to nothing.
43.
43 to nothing. It doesn't help. That doesn't matter.
Well, that was week 2.
I don't care what it was.
Are the Dolphins much better now than they were week 2?
Oh, sorry, that was week 3.
Can you
Or no,
imagine
week 2,
betting
week 2.
the over at like 46
The
and
Dolphins,
that happening?
Listen, the Dolphins are a lot better than...
I know. I listen, for the same reason I think the other some of the other games are kind of get right games for this team. I worry that I wonder if New England is going to come out and try to open up some things for like a playoff situation, kind of show some teams, show whoever their first round opponents different look against Miami, and make them a little, that much harder to scout. I think Miami covers here.
Yes!
Or no, I think New England covers here. Oh, I know. I'm sorry.
I agree with Mano on this one. I'm sorry. I don't give a crap how many points Miami's getting here. They got absolutely beat down in Miami. Now they're in New England. The Patriots have struggled all year. Not struggled. I mean, they're 12-3, but they haven't played up to the standards that they hold themselves to. I think they're going to take this opportunity to absolutely just demolish them. I would not be surprised if Miami doesn't score 1 point. Again, I would not be surprised.
On the other end of that, though, the Patriots might be coming into this.
They
as like
couldn't find the end zone against the Jets. Sanders had 7 field goals. They couldn't find the end zone against the Jets. Fitzmagic is going to not be very magical on Sunday. I promise you that. It's just not, I don't know. New England minus 15.5. As long as the spread's under 20, I'm going to take it. So there's that.
All right.
Splits down the middle.
Green Bay at Detroit. Green Bay are 12.5-point favorites. The total set at 43. Green Bay is 12-3, 10-5 against the spread. Detroit 3-11 and 5-10 against the spread. I don't really know what I want to do with this game because Green Bay did impress me on Monday night against the Vikings. I think their defense really stepped up and forced the Vikings to have a lot of trouble, and they're on a very long win streak at the moment. And Detroit is just on the complete opposite. They lost to Chicago, Minnesota, Tampa Bay, Denver. They're just not putting up points, and I think their defense is holy enough to, not holy as in religion terms, but like cheese. I think
Going against the Packers.
Yeah, going against the Packers, I just think that they're not going to be able to stop all the weapons that they have. Aaron Rodgers is just too dynamic. Devontae Adams has yet to really have a breakout game. The running game is really what they've been kind of leaning on. So
Where you going? Green Bay, 12.5?
I'm going to go Green Bay minus 12.5. There's still, Green Bay beat Minnesota by 13. I just don't see a way that Detroit keeps it closer. I'm going to go Green Bay minus 13 or 12.5.
Yeah, I have to agree with Green Bay minus 12.5. I mean, we saw what they did to the Vikings, and their defense literally smothered the Vikings. The Vikings had 82 passing yards that whole game. Like, that's insane.
That Smith combination of defensive end for the Packers are legitimate. Those are two really good.
Zaire Smith is
Zadarius and Preston.
Or Zadarius is a baller.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Sorry
I mean,
to cut you off.
it's okay. Like I have to take Green Bay minus 12.5 on this. I don't think the Lions can get it done. They're not a good passing team as it is. They're on their third string quarterback, and on top of having a crazy pass rush by the Packers, and then nice secondary holding the Vikings to less than 100 yards. Packers minus 12.5 on this. They're gonna smother the Lions.
I like Detroit here. As much as it pains me to say, Green Bay is a very injury-prone team between Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones.
Pains you to say. Injuries, good transition.
What do you mean? Oh, it doesn't
Yeah.
pay. But Devontae Adams has been battling injuries all year. Aaron Jones has been injury-prone, and I think if the Green Bay gets out to an early lead, I think they might try to, maybe not give the ball to Devontae Adams as much, not run the ball, give the ball to Jamal Adams instead. It's an in-division game, too, and these in-division games are always shootouts. And it's in Detroit. If it was in Green Bay, I'd probably think a little bit differently, but it's in Detroit. It's in a dome. It's not like it's going to be too chilly. I like Detroit plus 12.5 here. I think they have enough to cover at the back end of the game.
I like Green Bay here. I don't see a situation where they lose this game. I don't see a situation where they don't score more than 13 points against or more than 13 points worth of whatever the Lions put up. Green Bay here.
All right. So 3 Green Bays in Detroit. All right, next game we have is the LA Chargers at Kansas City. Game initially opened up at Kansas City minus 7.5, and it's been pushed to Kansas City minus 9. What are you guys thinking here? Kansas City's got a playoff spot locked up, don't they? Mahomes been battling injury all year. Tyreek Hill's fine, but it's just Mahomes isn't 100%. It's in Kansas City too. What are you guys thinking?
Yeah. I'm thinking Kansas City here. I'm not a big Chargers guy.
I'm sick of
Especially
betting on the
last
Chargers.
week.
I
You
think
can't bet on the Chargers.
they're the most frustrating team to bet on. I think this year it's either backdoor covers or when you don't bet on them, or when you do bet on them, it's Phillip Rivers, 85 yards to go, 7 points to win, 3 points to tie, and he gets the ball to the 50 and throws a pick. It's the same thing.
I mean, it is. I can't put my money on Phillip Rivers anymore. Not after this year. And I remember when they played they played the Raiders, and he was leading
Last week?
No, it was a couple weeks ago. He was leading the.
Yeah, they played
he was
last week.
Last week.
It was a couple weeks before that. That was probably their first meeting. Drove the team down the field, fourth quarter, threw a pick in the end zone. It's just that I can't trust Phil Rivers here. I can't trust a reigning MVP and Patrick Mahomes. So Kansas City minus 9.
Yeah, I have to agree. Strictly because of what you guys said, based on Phillip Rivers, there is a little part of me that's worried that this is going to somehow be the game, like his last game ever, that he ends up throwing.
And that team pops off. Too.
Right.
Yeah, I hear you.
Like, I'm a little worried about that, but I can't just pick it based off of that small little feeling I have based on what Phillip Rivers has done all season, pretty much. I have to go with the Chiefs minus 9.5 on this.
So just a quick stat.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Kansas City has covered the spread in every single game that they have won, except for one. And that was week 4 against Detroit. They were 7-point favorites, and they only won 34-30. So that's interesting, though. When they lose, they don't cover. That's been every single loss this season. And I'm going to go based off that trend and the fact that the Chargers are slumping. I'm a big Chargers guy. Like, I think I've been high on the Chargers. Like,
You've seen how they played this year. You've seen how they played this year.
No, I completely agree with you, and I'm taking Kansas City here.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I'm taking Kansas City, but I don't know. It scares me a little tiny bit because this is a divisional game. Their first meeting stayed within 7 points, like I think it was a month ago. But I don't know. I think Kansas City is just in a lot better form. Mahomes is on fire, and Rivers is just trending in the opposite direction. So
yeah, move on.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Kansas City for that one. Moving on, we got Tennessee visiting Houston. Tennessee are 3.5-point favorites against Houston.
Houston's locked up.
On the road, they're 3.5-point favorites.
Tennessee needs to win, right?
Yeah, well, Houston's locked up. Tennessee needs to win to be able to get in the wild card. Houston, Bill O'Brien has come out and hasn't said he's gonna rest his starters.
He'd be smart to.
He would be smart to. I mean, the usage for Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins has been immense this year. Will Fuller is an injury concern. I don't know why you wouldn't rest your starters, or at least only let them play a quarter or two. Just get them a walkthrough, keep them warm.
So if the Chiefs beat the Chargers, Houston knows that it means nothing. And it's good to note that game is a 1 o'clock game, and this game is a 4:30 game. So they'll know by kickoff whether or not this game means anything to them. So I'm curious if that has anything to do with them resting starters.
I don't think it does.
I don't think it does.
Not that close. Not on the same day. Same. With maybe potentially within minutes of the game.
15-minute window.
You can't get
in the second half
gassed up.
possibly. But then again, they also really probably want to keep Tennessee out of the playoffs because Tennessee are a team that are dangerous.
I mean, yeah,
and
but
they can get to you. They went on a hot streak. They've showed what they can do.
Houston cares more about the playoffs. I mean, they're getting J.J. Watt back. They're not going to rush him back. They want him fully healthy. They want a playoff push. And my thing here is Tannehill wants to get an extension. He wants to start next year.
Somewhere, maybe not necessarily in Tennessee, but he wants to.
This is his final audition.
Mm-hmm.
He knows how to run that offense with Derrick Henry. I like Tennessee 3.5. I do. I'm not going to read into this too much. I like Tennessee 3.5 here.
I agree.
Yep, same squad agreement.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I think they win by at least a touchdown.
Scares me a bit, but I mean, I'm with it.
It's close enough to make you worry a little bit. Or it's far enough, big enough to make you worry a little bit.
Yeah, the half is what scares me.
I mean, the line did open at 5.5 to Houston, and that's down to 5.5. Houston's getting 5.5 points. It's now 3.5. So
it's probably moving down because it's
early
the
action's
Houston
been on
Texans.
Houston, but I mean, at 5.5, I can see that. But I don't know. Yeah, 3.5. I'm gonna go with Tennessee. I think they get into the playoffs here.
Tennessee has the heart here. The Tennessee needs to win this game more than Houston does.
Definitely.
I mean, it's a division game, but Houston. Why would Houston jeopardize their playoff future?
So they're going to go up early and not
Yeah.
release the brakes. I hear you.
Yeah.
So we're moving on. We got Indianapolis visiting Jacksonville. A
Yuck.
gross game.
Yuck.
Indy
yuck,
is
yuck.
3.5-point favorites on the road. The total set at 43. This is another game I don't really have to read much into. Neither team is playing for anything. Indy is 7-8 straight up, 7-6, and I'm guessing 2 against the spread. And the Jags are 5-10 straight up, 6-9 against the spread. I'm gonna go with Indy minus 3.5. Both teams are gonna be at full strength. I mean, aside from pre-existing injuries, but yeah, I think Indy is the much better team. They beat up on Carolina. Like they're good enough to beat up on the bad teams, but not necessarily good enough to kind of stick with the better teams here. And Jacksonville has just been struggling, haven't been able to put up points.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is the Jaguars have
it's
just
just
been
bad.
bad. The Jaguars have just been bad. Their defense has been bad. Their offense has been bad. I can't trust them here. I mean, Indy minus 3.5. I can't trust what Jacksonville's doing. I could trust Frank Wright, conservative Jacoby Brissett, and that offense. Their defense is solid. Jacksonville just hasn't been impressive, for the past 5-6 weeks. As soon as Nick Foles came back, everything started falling apart.
They lost by 20 in Indianapolis. The Jags did.
The Jags did?
Yeah, and in their last 7 games, they've put up 12, 16, or 12, 20, 10, 11, 20, 13-3.
And they've lost 6 of those 7.
They've lost 6 of the 7 and only beat Oakland on that late comeback, which arguably they should have lost that game.
I think that, honestly, I don't know if I want to touch this game. But again, for the sake of the cap, -3.5 Indy.
I'm with you on -3.5. Something that you guys haven't talked about is that Frank Reich used to be the offensive coordinator for the Eagles when Nick Foles won the Super Bowl there in Philly. So I think Reich knows how to coach, around or try to, put Nick Foles in
Was Foles playing or is
Foles
Minshew
playing?
playing?
I'm not 100% sure, but they play very similarly to kind of coach around those, quarterbacks.
So you're going.
So I'm going with
Indy?
I'm going Indy.
I'm going to make it a little fun here.
Oh, boy.
I have faith. If Gardner Minshew is starting, I have a little bit of faith in him. Losing 6 of their last 7. It's the last game. It doesn't mean anything. So what's the big deal if you lose? What's the big deal if you throw picks? Like, they're both going to be going for it. I'm going to trust in Gardner. I'm not going to do the spread. I'm going to just say Jacksonville money line.
Ooh, okay.
That's really bold. Everybody's got picks in?
Yeah, we all got Indy and Mike's got Jags.
Hey,
money
so
line.
is the Sixers against the Bucks, but
We got Washington
Let's
visiting
not talk about that.
Dallas. Dallas opened at 11-point favorites, now 10.5. The total opened at 44.5, now 45.5. So a little action on the over and Washington.
Don't make me do it. I'm going to do it here.
I'm gonna agree with what you're about to do.
I'm Washington plus 11
Oh my
here.
God.
I'm taking Washington plus 11.
Oh, don't do it.
Or 10.5, whatever it is.
I think, I don't know. This is a freaky little line here.
I hate Dallas and them crapping the bed last week. I just think everything's going
but the
downhill.
Eagles are. I know they're not good, but they're a different team than the Redskins. Like
They are.
I don't know. The thing here is Dallas is really playing for something. Like, win, and with an Eagles loss versus our
Dallas is home,
boys.
too.
I mean, I don't know. This is tricky. Like, but it shouldn't be tricky. Like, Washington's really bad, but it's also a divisional game.
Listen, Washington needs to lose to lock in the number 2 pick.
It is true, but
That changes anything.
it was a 10-point game when they played in Washington. So, I mean, look, I'm split right down the middle on this one. I was going to go Washington. It was a 10-point game in Washington earlier in the year. It's in Dallas. I just think the Cowboys get up for this one. That stadium's going to be rocking. They got to win that game. Dallas minus 11. I can't put money on Washington here.
I
can't
agree with
do it.
that.
I'm
Convince
sorry.
me. Convince me.
I hate the Cowboys. I hate the fans. You're the scums of the earth. But this is the game that everyone is shitting on Jason Garrett. They hate him. This is the game that he ends up winning. Then they all start talking like, oh, like maybe he'll keep his job.
Buying himself one
Yeah,
more year.
exactly.
Okay.
Like, I think
All
they
right.
blow the Redskins out of the water here. You're going to see Jerry Jones up in his box with his little smirk on his face, all
Fist
happy.
bumping his
not
son, whatever.
not inviting Chris Christie back ever again.
Nope.
But I think that the Cowboys just run away with this game and just kill the Redskins.
I'm with you. Dallas has something to get up for, like you said, Stick. I don't think Washington, can hold Dallas's whatever in
Jock.
this game. Jock, anything.
Something that I'm looking at the injury report now. Terry McLaurin's been sidelined all week with the concussion. Still hasn't gotten out of concussion protocol. So
Haskins is out, which I think gives them a better shot to win the game.
but
I think Case Keenum is
I would rather have
not
Case
a bad
Keenum in there.
quarterback.
I'd rather have Case
to be
Keenum
honest.
in there, but not having Terry McLaurin is big because Terry McLaurin's their only viable wide receiver. All right. Now, Washington plus 11. I'm going with the gut. Washington.
You're going
plus
for them to... Okay, I hear you.
Listen, they don't have to win the football game to cover the
True.
spread.
That's true.
That's all I care about.
You're good?
Yeah, I picked Dallas.
All right, Philly at the Giants. It's a 4:25 start. Are we going to this? What's happening with this?
I don't know. Well,
I mean, we didn't buy tickets, but
we're severely unprepared if we are going to go.
I still have the tables in my car.
All right,
The
I mean,
last
so we're
game.
halfway there. So,
That's
all right, we might be another game live from MetLife, possibly. I don't know.
Stay tuned.
We'll keep you
Check
updated.
the page.
Definitely check the page. Philly minus 4.5.
I love this. I love this. love
Over
this.
under is set at 45. This hurts me a little bit. I just think Philly's playing too well. I mean, as weird as that sounds, they've beat the Giants. They've beat after their loss to Miami, they beat the Giants at home. They went into Washington and won that game. It was pretty close though until a garbage time touchdown, and then they beat Dallas last week.
They what? They what?
They beat Dallas.
And you said that game was what?
So Dallas was my lock last week.
There it is.
One of my
Was it your
locks.
second
It was
lock?
my second lock, so I should have just stayed right off of it.
Yep.
You should have.
Got greedy.
Yep. I gave you ample opportunity. I told you why that was a bad
Hindsight
idea.
is
I
20/20.
I told you to, lock it.
Hindsight is 20/20.
Yeah, well, I was right.
I'm gonna go with the Eagles in this one. I just the Giants they showed that they're okay, and they had Danny Jones and Saquon both had big games last week. I just don't see a way the Giants win this game. I think Philly wins it pretty convincingly. I think it's going to be a 10-point win. I mean, they're playing for something. Carson Wentz looked a lot better. I know they're depleted. I know they're hurting, but they need to get this one. And for the same reason I picked Dallas, I'm going to pick Philly because and the Giants are going to be playing for this too. They're going to be playing to keep.
Oh, the Giants will be playing
They're
hard.
going to play to make it tough on both Dallas and Philly.
This is a Philly game. The Giants are going to be playing this game hard.
Those are a prove it, this is a prove it kind of game for the Giants too, especially for some of those guys maybe on a roster bubble next year, new regime or not. They can kind of be like, look how I played against Philly, and that definitely, plays a factor. Whether or not it should, what is up to whoever's making the decisions. But yeah,
I took the Giants at 9.5 when they were in Philly. This line is just they're not getting enough points for my liking here. If it was closer to a touchdown, I would say yes, but I don't think this game is a field goal game by any means. I mean, I know that they always play them tough. But
I don't think this is a field goal game.
I'm going Philly on this one.
I think the Giants win this game outright. I really do. Daniel Jones, the offense finally has 90% of. They have everybody except Evan Engram at this point.
sure.
Saquon's coming into his own.
Yup.
This is a game where Shermer.
He only needs 81 yards for 1,000 on the year.
Really? He's been playing
it's
buns
something-
all year.
Yeah. That includes a stinker against the Jets and 3 weeks where he didn't play. I was shocked to see that, but keep going.
Well,
I'm almost there
They
on
had
the Giants.
190 last week.
Sure, yeah.
The
He
Giants.
did ball out
The
last
Giants
week,
are
and that
fresh.
definitely helps.
Yeah.
Giants are fresh.
So you're telling
That's
me
what-
the Giants?
I'm telling you the Giants.
You're telling me
I
the
like
Giants.
what they're doing on the offense. We've seen how their defense has been playing lately. Their secondary, DeAndre Baker. We've talked about DeAndre Baker
Right.
and how DeAndre
Right.
Baker's
They've
playing.
been doing better.
Marcus Golden has been. He's a sleeper on the defensive end. We talk about how Leonard Williams gets this close to the quarterback.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the week he gets the
Consistently.
quarterback.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
The offense is convincing to me. This is the Giants don't miss opportunities to knock other NFC East teams out of the playoffs. So the Giants always play either the Eagles or the Cowboys at the end of the year. They do this every year because it's always coming down to the last game. I love the Giants here. I'm going to take them 4.5. I'm going to take a money line.
Speaking of Marcus Golden, did you see he earned his bonus, his $1 million
He did.
bonus
He
because of
did.
a stat correction?
They're balling. The Giants are balling. They're feeling good. We want to go into next year with high hopes. Pat Shurmur wants to keep his job. Betcher's on his way out, and that's another story. But Shurmur wants to keep his spot. They want to roll into next year with some momentum, and I'm taking the Giants all the way here.
Coaching for jobs. Mikey, I'm right here on the Giants. Put me over the
Do
edge.
it. Put it.
Okay, so
Are you-
I'm actually not on the Giants. Okay, this is a typical game where the Giants have looked good the past few weeks.
You're
The
right.
morale is up.
You're
Eli
right.
was back.
Correct.
All that. They lost the number 2 draft pick. They got out of that. Now is the game where Philly is just going to come in and honestly probably spank them. Daniel Jones is back. I think it's going to be a bust at the end of the season. I just think it's a typical Giants game to lose here.
I hear
I
you.
think it's just so, like I said, just so Giants to lose.
But it's so
I'm-
Giants
listen.
to win. It is so Giants to win this game.
Yeah, but I feel like the past few weeks have been so Giants to win, and they have been looking good. And now it's, I think,
We're at the 5 draft pick right now. If
we're
we
locked
win
in
this
for a
game,
top 5.
are we?
yeah, regardless.
We're locked in for top 5.
I mean,
That's
I don't
that's
know.
what I'm saying is we're already locked in for top 5.
So what, we can win.
Yes, we can win, but that's my point. Is It's a Giants thing to not win. You knock yourself lower in the draft, and now you're just not going to win. And I think that
This is the start of the Giants turnaround for me. I think I think we go into the offseason hot. We draft really well, and I think we're going to start off next year. Really good.
All right, man. I'm taking it back down to earth here and saying Giants plus 4.5. Let's move on.
Oh wait, I'm taking Eagles minus 4.5. Let's go Giants though.
We're split here then.
Yes,
you just blew my brain.
Sorry,
I'm in another
listen,
dimension.
I can't help but be excited
I know
about this.
that was a lot to handle.
So we got Pittsburgh visiting Baltimore.
Pittsburgh needs a win and a Tennessee loss.
Pittsburgh are 2-point favorites. Now I'm going to preface that. It sounds a little weird right off the bat, but Lamar Jackson, Mark Ingram, Mark Andrews, Earl Thomas, Tavon Young, Tony Jefferson, Pernell McPhee, pretty much anybody important to that team is sitting. Aside from Hollywood Brown, I don't think, but I'm sure he'll see his way out of the game at some point. I'm not going to touch this game, although we have to make a pick on this, and we saw how bad the Steelers looked last week playing Russian roulette with quarterbacks.
It is Devlin Hodges.
It's Duck, but he got knocked out of the game. Mason Rudolph got KO'd earlier in the season. Their quarterbacks just literally cannot stay healthy. And they're not good to begin with, although I think the Steelers would have won last week if it were not for Rudolph getting knocked out of the game and Duck having to come back in.
I would have been fine on my lock then.
Yeah, you would have been fine on your lock.
Life.
Anyways, it's in Baltimore.
It is.
I'm going to take the points with Baltimore
Yes,
and
you are.
whatever reserves they put out there. I don't think it matters. I don't think they just let this slip away. And that's going to be that for me.
Yeah. It's Baltimore at home.
Yeah, I don't care if Robert Griffin is playing. That he's athletic. He's got the ability to make plays. He's not a pocket passer. He's not good.
He's Lamar Jackson light, very light.
That's fine.
He's a good backup.
But he's arguably equal with Devlin Hodges, and
he has more experience than him too.
Baltimore still has a top 5 defense. Even if they take out a couple of their key starters, they still have a top 5 defense.
It's a lot of scheme for them, scheme and talent, and they'll still have the scheme if they don't play their starters. I think Baltimore wins this one.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's not going to have James Conner either.
Right. I like Baltimore here in the points and probably the money line. I'll just recommend the points, but
yeah,
I think in the back of RG3's head, he's like, if I go out and ball this game with the success that Lamar Jackson had, some team could take a chance with me, and he could, prove that he still has some, ability to be a starting quarterback for somebody in this league in a right system. And if he balls out in this game and they smash Pittsburgh and derail their playoff hopes, then a GM might take advantage of that and come calling. So I think Baltimore takes 2.5 here. I think RG3 balls out.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it easy. Baltimore,
yeah,
+2.
I agree with you, especially if they're watching the Steelers lose to the Jets last week and then watching the Ravens a few weeks ago on Thursday Night Football just destroy the Jets. And the Ravens have a lot of backups in, I know that, but they're playing for something. Like, they want to get noticed. They want to try and get a starting spot, mostly not on the Ravens maybe, but somewhere else. And like you said, with RG3, I think you have to take the Ravens here.
You're not 13-2 with scrub backups.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, you need rotation. You take people get hurt throughout the year. You're right. Baltimore, that's an easy one.
If Steelers were home, though, I might consider them. But with them in Baltimore, I think you have to take them.
I think the under's in play here, too. Both teams have good defenses and a lackluster or a lesser Baltimore offense. I don't know. It's interesting.
What's the over-under?
It's like in the 30s.
I think it was 37.5. It's another low-scoring game because now you got a battle of backups.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that could go either way. I'm sure Vegas is more comfortable with the under.
All right, so what we got next?
Moving on, we got Arizona at the Rams. The Rams are 5-point favorites. It opened at the Rams +7 or -7.5. It's now -5. So we're getting money on Arizona there. The total is 48.5. That looks a little high to me initially, especially with the fact that Kyler Murray might not play because of a hamstring injury. He was limited in practice this week, but he wants to play. So, I'm just curious what Cliff Kingsbury wants to do there.
Well, you want your number 1 overall pick, your cornerstone, and your franchise tweaking his hamstring a little more and possibly tearing it? Probably not.
Yeah, you don't want that.
You
so, I'm
there's
going
a
to
long
bank
off-season
on
coming
the
up.
fact that even if he does play, he's not going to be as much of a threat with his legs.
No.
And Brett Hundley is behind him, so I don't really trust much of that. Arizona, however, did look pretty good last week versus Seattle. And they beat Cleveland the week before, so they're picking up a little bit of steam here in the meaningless end of the season here. But then you look at the Rams. They've been up and down. Last week, they played San Francisco really, really tough. Lost by 3 points. I just think this is an easy one. I think the Rams are going to cover this spread with ease, with or without Kyler Murray playing for the Cardinals. Yeah, they're home. They really are playing for something here. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Still going to be tough. Can they make it into the playoffs?
No, both
Fall
of them
from
are
grace.
out. That's why Sean McVay was talking about maybe sitting some of his starters as well for this upcoming week because it doesn't matter.
I mean, I can imagine the Rams maybe they limit Todd Gurley, especially with his knee shoulder
Jalen
issue.
Ramsey's also out.
I mean, I
I
just
don't
can't
care.
trust.
I think
I
there's
just
too much
can't.
talent on that
I think
team.
that there is. I mean, even if you start backups for the Rams, I mean, you take out Brandon Cooks, you still have Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, Gerald Everett, Higbee. In the backfield, if they rest Todd Gurley, there's Darrell Henderson, there's Ronnie Brown. Their defense is still pretty good too. Just because you're missing, what's his face, Jalen Ramsey, doesn't mean they're not gonna be able to put up. But I feel comfortable with Rams -5 here. They're home. Jared Goff plays well at home. I think Jared Goff plays anyway. Yeah, he's they paid him. They don't want to get hurt, but he's looked like garbage all year. He needs all the reps he can get. So I feel comfortable with LA -5 here.
I'm with you.
Easy.
Yeah, I agree. Especially because I don't think Kenyon Drake is going to have another week like he did last week. Like, yes, he is a good running back, but I don't think he's going to put up 166 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, I just don't think that's going to happen. So I have to take the Rams on this.
Squad agreement.
Squad agreement, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got Oakland playing in Denver at Mile High. Oakland is 7-8, both straight up and against the spread, which is shocking to me. I just think, I don't get how the Raiders have a shot at going 500 this season. It makes no sense to me. I'm shocked every time I see their record. They've just been hovering that 500 mark all year. Denver is, man, I'll get ready, 6-9.
Nice.
Straight up, and 9-6 against the spread. So
They got tired.
they're 3.5-point favorites. The total set at 41. I'm gonna go with Oakland plus 3.5 on this. Denver doesn't really impress me, and Oakland shockingly can still get into the playoffs.
That's ridiculous.
Johnny G.
It's unbelievable
That
that
is
they can still
unbelievable.
possibly get in the playoffs here in the AFC. But the Broncos are out of it. Although I'm not high on the Raiders, I'll take more than this field goal. And I don't really want to talk much about this because I'm just going to confuse the shit out of myself. And yeah, I'm just going to stick with it. I don't like John Gruden. I really don't, but I'm going with it.
You were gonna talk yourself into a nice little Browns or not Browns
'Cause I do
Broncos
like-
cover. I'm taking
do
the
like
Broncos.
Drew Lock.
cover.
I like the Broncos.
I like
here.
Drew Lock.
Taking the Broncos.
I like him. Go ahead.
He-
Give me your
the-
reasoning. What you got?
That defense is still one of the better defenses in the NFL. Like, they have Chris Harris, they have Von Miller, they have legitimate playmakers on that defense. I don't think Oakland can stop those two guys, by themselves, especially Von Miller.
Oakland's just been very streaky, very unimpressive. Yeah, they've won their fair share of games, and they're extremely lucky to be sitting there at 7-8 with the possibility of making the playoffs. Denver at home with a chance to knock off, a team from going to the playoffs. Like you said, their defense with Chris Harris, Von Miller, still a very formidable defense. And I think that Derek Carr doesn't do well in the cold too. So I'm assuming it's probably going to be cold up there in Denver.
And the altitude is a factor. in
It
this.
is.
And it's a young team. Like, they're not used to going into a place like this with those kind of elements.
No, the Denver's 3-1 against the spread with Drew Lock at the helm. The one loss coming to Kansas City, which is obvious, which is okay, which is acceptable. But I think Denver minus 3.5 is good here.
So can I give you this rundown on the possibility of the Raiders making the playoffs here?
Oh God, how bad is it?
So they haven't clinched a spot. They're not going to win the division. But to get the number 6 seed in the AFC, the Raiders need to basically hit a parlay here. And I'm pulling this from CBS Sports, an article. I'll give credit to Will Brinson, because I don't want to be
Billy.
stealing his words, because he wrote this. But They need the Titans to lose to Houston. They need the Steelers to lose to the Bills. And they need the Colts to beat the Jaguars. I don't think that's out of the question. I think that's
entirely possible. But do they have to win?
Yeah, of course they have to win.
Okay.
But
That's what I figured.
I think the toughest one is the
Stupid
Titans
question.
losing to Houston, but I could see that happening. And if the Raiders somehow sneak into the playoffs, I think that would be absolutely insane.
That would be a John Gruden thing to happen.
Did you see the new stadium they're building in Las Vegas
I've seen so many
it's
comparisons
black.
to
It's black all around the outside. The glass is black. The frame is
You know
all
how
black.
hot that fucking place is gonna
It
be?
looks like like the Death Star. It looks like a black
That's
hole. It's gonna be
sick.
crazy.
I also saw another one. Somebody posted a meme. You know the Roomba vacuums?
Yeah.
The robot. Someone said
what this-
that the stadium was the architect was the same person that designed the Roomba vacuum.
I'm excited for the Las Vegas Raiders next year.
Same. I have a lot of faith in my guy Johnny G over there. I think that I understand they need basically what you said, a parlay to get in the playoffs, but it starts with them winning. Like, yes, you need all the other things to hit, but if you don't win this game, then those don't matter. And I think no one really fires up a locker room like John Gruden does. And those guys are going to come ready to play. I have to have faith in my Raiders. I hate you, Derek Carr. I still hate you. You suck.
Wow.
I hate you.
Sheesh.
But I love John Gruden. Big Darren Waller fan. Raiders plus 3.5. What is it?
you got
Plus
it.
3.5.
3.5. Is that it? You
That's
made
it.
all our
yeah,
picks.
Yeah, last game.
Now Seahawks.
While I'm getting to the next game here, I think
49ers.
that stadium is going to be filled with just a bunch of high rolling betting men.
I think
It's
you're
gonna
gonna.
Like it's just gonna
There's gonna be a lot of celebrities. That place is gonna be packed.
You mean next year?
next
Yeah.
year in Vegas. I think that stadium is gonna be owned by a high rolling, just season ticket holders. Like I don't think it's gonna necessarily be real fans in there, just because of the location change. But
I disagree.
I don't know.
Well,
We'll
I
see.
partially agree with you. I think there's going to be a good amount of what you said, but I think that Oakland fans are diehard. They're one of the craziest fan bases. And from Oakland to Vegas is only 3-4 hours. Like, people will make a weekend trip out there for home games 8 times. Like, people will do it.
it's an attractive place to go for a weekend.
It really is.
I don't know if you guys watch too much hockey, or especially our listeners, but ever since
The
Vegas got the
Knights.
Golden Knights,
They also
mean,
came
obvi-
and won a Stanley.
well, they almost did. They got
they
the
won
Stanley Cup Finals.
the first year.
Yeah, they were a good team, but
Still.
that stadium, that arena was filled every night. It was rocking. Vegas has some fans. I mean, the people out there are dying to watch somebody. Nevada's a huge state. They're dying for somebody in that desert. So I think the Las Vegas Raiders are gonna have a good show out.
All right, Sunday night football, 8:20 kickoff. We got the Niners visiting
Monday
the
night game this
Seahawks.
week.
Nope.
No, we don't have a Monday night game.
Sad.
San Fran are 3.5-point favorites on the road versus Seattle. Seattle just signed Marshawn Lynch back from
Beast mode.
retirement. I feel like he's retired like 4 times. I don't think it's going to make a difference here. I think San Francisco wins this game semi-convincingly. I think this line is way too low. San Fran is 12-3 straight up, 8-6 against the spread. Seattle 11-4 straight up, 7-7 against the spread. I don't know. This game is San Francisco is just a better team than Seattle, and Seattle's mojo has been on the running game, and we don't know what we're getting from Marshawn Lynch, and it's just too much of a question mark for me to go with Seattle here, even as more than a field goal home dogs. I just think San Francisco is a much better team put together. They're not as injury stricken. So yeah, San Francisco minus 3.5.
I'm with you for the same exact reasons. I don't think Seattle comes in and makes a
San
huge.
Fran's coming in.
Yeah, but I mean, all right, fine. I think San Fran comes in and blows them out.
I think that the Seahawks are not gonna get embarrassed like they did last week. I don't know how much faith I do have in Marshawn, but I'm gonna make myself have faith in him, especially after seeing him get out of that Escalade and all those Skittles falling out. I don't know if you saw the video on Twitter, but that was
crazy
That was
video.
electric. That
That
was
guy's
electric.
balling. He is a
Like,
baller.
he's a beast, and
He was ankle deep in Skittles.
yeah, which
That's a lot of Skittles.
that is a lot. That sucks for the poor bastard that has to clean out that Escalade, but
The rain. Oh no, not the rain.
but I think Marshawn does come back with a vengeance. I don't know if he even plays next season, but he's going to just tough out this season, going to give it his all. I'm not going to go with the spread. I'm going to go with a Seahawks money line on this. I think they win by a late game field goal just to win it. And I think Seahawks at home money line. Let's go, Marshawn. Beast mode.
I'm on both sides of this. I've been
That's
on
not
the,
allowed.
I'm on
Well,
the
it could be age break even, assuming you bet the same amount.
Seattle last week when they played
You'd still lose
Arizona, they looked god awful. Kenyon Drake ran for 166 yards against Seattle, so I can imagine what the three-headed monster and San Fran does between Breida, Mostert, Tevin Coleman. But Seattle's healthy. I mean, relatively speaking, Russell Wilson is not their defense. Seattle's 14-7 against the spread as home dogs under Pete Carroll. I do think this is going to be a field goal game. I think San Fran wins by only a field goal here, so I'll go Seattle plus 3 too. I'll do a little Sunday night miracle here. Little Sunday night miracle here for Seattle, so I'll go Seattle plus 3.
Jimmy Garoppolo's going to choke.
All right, so that's possible.
Bold statement, but I'm sticking with it.
So we're going to move on to the Lock of the Week segment here.
I am unprepared.
I was wondering where we were going next with the podcast, what our next segment was, and then I looked down at my computer and I realized I need to pick a lock.
Yeah.
This is a tough week. I don't know who to pick because a lot of games are meaningless. A lot of people are resting their starters and might not play as hard.
I'll
so
come
if somebody's
straight
got one, come out and say it.
Yeah, my lock of the week this week is Minnesota -1 against Chicago. I don't think Chicago's been unimpressive all year. Minnesota's not going to lose to Chicago at home. This isn't a primetime game for Kirk Cousins. I think Minnesota -1 is going to be my lock of the week.
All right. I mean, I'm going to pick one.
Well, yeah.
I'm going to go with Indy -3.5 on the road at Jacksonville. Mano makes a face because I think I stole his pick. You're allowed to pick the same one.
No, I'm not going to though.
It's not fun. It's not fun.
I mean, that's true. But yeah, I'm going to go with Indy. I just think they have the biggest talent gap between teams this week, and both teams really don't have anything to play for, but I just think Indy's going to really just run train on Jacksonville, and I think that's it.
That's an aggressive.
Sexual.
Yeah, that's an aggressive term.
Yeah, I mean, lock of the week.
Want me to go?
Yeah.
Are you to steal it?
All right.
Please don't. I don't think you are. I think I can.
My lock of the week is going to be the Rams. Is that not your?
No, you're
okay.
good.
Mine is going to be the Rams at -5. I just don't think Arizona's going to come out. Big thing is, like I said, Kenyon Drake, yes, good running back. I don't think he's going to pop off like he did last week, have the 2 touchdowns over 150 yards. And I think Jared Goff is just going to have a get-right game is the best thing since the last game of the season, but I think he's going to do well, and I think as an overall team, the Rams are going to excel and beat the Cardinals by at least a touchdown, so my lock will be Rams -5.
Mano, before you give your pick, I can lay off of that. I have another one I really like, and I kind of it slipped my mind.
No, I'm going because I think you
I
and I
hope you
might
should-
be on the
I
same
shouldn't-
page here.
All right.
I think you and I might be on the same page here. I'm taking Baltimore +2.
That's
Yeah,
not
That's
it.
not
I
yours.
like that one.
That's not it.
Okay.
All right, so in that case, I'll double down again this week to
no,
end the season.
don't do it.
Come
I'm
on.
gonna go Cleveland -3 as my second lock of the week.
I can live with you betting against Cincinnati. That's fine. I don't have to talk you out of that one.
I enjoy doubling down on my locks. I think it's good.
I'm gonna take Baltimore here.
That's a really
It scares
bold
me.
pick.
I know. I have no reason to feel this confident
Yeah,
in a bet that I'm making. I have no reason to feel confident in the backups that the Ravens are putting out against a Steelers team with the backs against the wall in a must-win situation. But I'm gonna take
Sunday Miracle.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying
it's
here.
Sunday.
Any
Yeah, Sunday
given
425.
Sunday.
Any
Miracle.
given Sunday, you're right.
All right, so this is going to be a tricky week for our locks of the week. All posts from the lock segment, or all picks from the lock segment are posted to our Instagram at capson.sports. They'll also be posted to our Twitter at capson_inc. We've ramped up the Twitter game like we promised. It's getting there. We want to have a presence on all forms of social media, so as we've said before, you guys can get to it on your preferred social platform. But anyways, that wraps up our final regular season pick segment. So going forward, I guess for the playoffs, it's gonna be shorter episodes because less games to choose from. So if you like the long episodes, I'm sorry you're coming to an end. You're gonna have to wait till next year. But I'm excited for next year. Anyways, this season's not over yet, but I'm excited for a full season of podcasting. I think it's going to be good.
Well, I think these NFL playoffs this year are going to be pretty good.
I'm excited for baseball.
I don't know how excited I am to gamble baseball, but I'm excited for baseball.
I love gambling on baseball.
Let's go Mets.
Nah,
Let's go Mets.
that's not. Okay.
That's
We're all Giants fans here, but we're not all Met fans. And
no, nobody is.
happens to be only one.
Yeah.
So anyway, that wraps up the podcast. This is our Week 17 preview, episode 7.
Yeah.
But
Follow us on Instagram, capson.sports.
And capsON_Inc. on Twitter. And yep, that's it. So Mike's got something to say.
I know I bet on the Eagles, but let's go Giants.
And as always, we'll leave the cap on for you.
Bye.